Hey everybody, Dr. Perry Bard here, and I wanted to share something with you that I promised I would share with you, and more importantly, as opposed to writing an email or sending out some written notification as to what this is, I felt that it would be appropriate to share this with you personally and directly, and what you read is exactly true. I am happy to announce that I am officially retired from all public speaking. And this was not a spontaneous decision. This was actually a decision that I put a lot of thought into. There is one small caveat to it, which I will share with you. But if you want to really know what was behind it, what the backstory was on my retirement, I think it's best to kind of go back a little bit to know that over the past 2 years, I don't know if you know this, but over the past 2 years, I've been teaching some lectures for a number of different states and different groups that brought me in to speak on a host of different subjects. One, the most popular, the ABCs of non-surgical spinal decompression. And we loved giving this lecture in addition to all the other lectures we gave over the past 2 years. And the reason that we loved it was, as you know, that often when I speak, I'll usually speak with a group or one specific person, which I'm going to talk about. But the past 2 years, I've been speaking actually individually. And a crazy thing happened. If you would have told me this would have happened, I would tell you that I was kind of blown away by this, that once we started giving these lectures, a number of doctors approached us immediately right after, and they wanted to share their impressions of these lectures. And I gotta tell ya, I was pretty blown away by their impressions. They were just, I mean, from the heart, they were so gracious. They were so thankful. They were so appreciative of all the content that we were sharing at that point. And even to the point where it became emotional. I mean, emotional for them, which made me emotional. It's kind of crazy, right? How much people were digging our, I guess you would say, our authenticity, our transparency, our matter-of-fact approach to what it takes in this climate to really win the game as a chiropractor. And that old saying, I think, as you know, that all boats rise when the tide goes up, right? And that's kind of how we looked at it. We also know for a fact that it is without question, the greatest time in history to be a chiropractor. So we loved sharing this information, sharing this content, and really speaking from our heart, because as you probably know, or many of you know, we wrote a book actually about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. It's called the Dr. Success Spotlight Book. And the book was not about me. The book was actually about the 18 most successful chiropractors on the planet, each with a different uniqueness, a different specialty. We loved doing it. It was an interview show. It was actually a podcast that became a radio show that became a book. And the thing that was so cool about this was the simple fact that I got an opportunity to ask doctors questions that were not typical. So much so that a mainstay of them said it was the best interview they've ever had. They loved it. We loved it. And I had one rule. And the rule was this. The rule was that when we speak, then this is going to be unedited. It's going to be uncut. It's going to be unrehearsed. It's going to be unplugged. And it will be unscripted. And the reason we did that was because that's how I approached my lectures. In other words, when I speak, I always want to be able to share what we know as the truth. And the truth is the simple fact that chiropractors right now, many of them are having a challenging time. And the reason they're having a challenging time is because there's so much noise out there. They don't know whether to step left, step right, step in the middle. So what do? They're not stepping at all. When in reality, though, is if you break it down to the simple, and that's one of the things we love about speaking, is we're able to simplify a host of things for doctors of chiropractic that, in essence, is the way we approach it. And what we did was we always said that, of course, it's a philosophy, it's an art, it is a science, but at the end of the day, last but not least, it is a business. And we fell in love with the business. Now, some of you know me, and you know I've kind of been almost like a marketing. I would never use that four-letter word that begins with a G and ends in a U, and has another U and an R in it. I'm not going to use that word. I'm going to use another G word. And the other G word is that I am absolutely positively a marketing geek. I dig marketing. I always have. I always will. All those stories you've heard were 1,000% true. 20 new patients a day, 4 straight years, 1 clinic. That's 100 brand new paying patients per week. And we fell in love with the marketing of the business of chiropractic. So I was so fortunate over the past 2 years to be able to share on a stage individually this message. It was interesting because last year the Florida Chiropractic Association asked me to speak, and I said, when do you want me to speak? And they said, we want you to speak at everything. Every event we do, we want you to speak at. And I said, of course, I would love to do that for my state, of course. And then a number of other states kind of jumped all over it, and then other groups jumped on it. One state, I don't know what happened. I think what happened was this. I think somebody recorded one of the lectures, and then they put it out there, is what I was told, and it became kind of viral. And there were certain sound bites that they loved in terms of being able to speak from the heart and talk about the business of disc, the business of nerve, the business of joint. When I say business of joint, meaning obviously you could be a disc specialist, you could be a nerve specialist, or you could be a shoulder or a knee specialist. There's so many great specialties in chiropractic right now, but more than anything, as you often heard, or hopefully you've heard it now, because somebody famous once said this, and I don't know who it is, but I would love to know who it is. And they said these words. They said, if you try to be everything to everybody, you'll often end up being nothing to nobody. And those words resonated with me, and that's why Dr. Kaplan and myself in 2012 started teaching the National Spinal Decompression Certification Program to be able to teach doctors the clinical aspects, the research, the science, and the tools necessary to be able to tap into market share that you're losing and have been losing and will continue to lose to orthopedic surgeons, to be able to lose to neurosurgeons, neurologists, pain management specialists, physiatrists. There are patients with herniated discs, bulging discs, degenerative discs that are seeking out these other doctors. And you, doctor, as a spinal disc specialist, have the great opportunity to be able to save lives, save patients from opioids, save patients from epidural injections, save patients from laminectomies, spinal fusions, foraminotomies, microdiscectomies. You, doctor, have this opportunity. So what was very interesting, over the past 2 years, I was teaching this lecture, and it was phenomenal. It was awesome. The feedback that I got in terms of text and emails and doctors coming up to me saying, this is exactly what I wanted to hear. And it was so enriching, and it was so much fun to do. And I thought about it, and I thought, you know, at the end of the day, I can go up there alone and talk about this, and the doctors will love it. However, I felt that at this phase of my life, I mean, I've been a chiropractor for 33 years, with the greatest partner of all time. You know who he is. I'll talk about him a little bit here before I say goodbye. But I will tell you this. I will tell you that I've always said to the doctors that the clock is ticking. And I've always said that there's a window of opportunity for chiropractors who get the big idea, that understand that this is a business. So what you want to do, doctors, is you want to find the best business training in the world. And that is why I am so pleased, so honored, and really so blessed to be able to share with you the simple fact that, yes, I am retiring from public speaking. However, what I am not doing is I am not retiring from sharing the message, sharing the training, sharing the education at one singular event. It's an event known as the Chiro event. And the Chiro event, if you know anyone who's ever attended it, if you've attended it before, you know what? I always start with these words. I always start with, of all the things that I've ever done in my life in terms of education and knowledge and training and sharing the love and sharing the wealth of all the great things this profession has given me, and how you can clone it, how you can hack it, and how you can model it, I always share these words. I always share that the Chiro event is my favorite training of all time because it is, without question, the most authentic, it is the most factual, it is the most transparent, and the most plug-and-play, real-time opportunity to learn how to explode a chiropractic business for all the right reasons. Number one, to help way more patients than you've ever helped, to be able to create a life and a lifestyle and a freedom that you doctors have always aspired to. It's the same freedom that I've owned for years. And to be able to really walk out of a training and say, you know what, that's the best training I've ever seen. So part of my motivation to retire from all public speaking outside of the Chiro event was really based upon one reason. And that reason was I really wanted to spend way more time with my family. And I've been so incredibly blessed to have a family, wife, beyond measure, and two boys. One in chiropractic school, yes, the torch being passed, and one in dental school. And you want to talk about getting the big idea, boy, they've had the big idea right from the beginning. So this gives me an opportunity now, as opposed to traveling and getting on the road and getting on big stages. And as you know, a number of the states, we've sent a formal letter declining their opportunity and their invitation. I know I've already been scheduled for a number of them, and we formally apologize to you in that regard, of the simple fact that we will not be able to do that. However, I will be spending more time with my family, and that is without question the greatest blessing of all. But when I talk about family, what I'm really also talking about is our family of Disc Centers of America doctors, over 150 centers now across the United States that are doctors that are cut from the right cloth, entrepreneurial chiropractors, chiropractors that get the big idea, that know that as spinal disc specialists, as nerve specialists, they get the opportunity to position themselves as specialists, as authorities, as the most credible go-to physicians in their marketplace, and to be able to save patients from opioids, from Vicodin, from Tramadol, from Percocet, from Oxycodone, from Narco, from Norflex, from Soma. I mean, you know them all, Doc. These are all the same drugs patients are taking right now, possibly and most likely going to other doctors because they don't know you exist. You are, for so many, the best kept secret. So my obligation, my mission, my job, my passion, and my love is with Dr. Kaplan to be able to share with doctors in a singular training known as the Chiro event. It is done at such a 5-star location. It is a content-laden training where I get to share everything that I know about living the life of your dreams, having a multi-million-dollar practice. That's multi-million-dollar practice. 5 of them in full, as you know. I built them up. I sold them all off. Dr. Kaplan, 6 clinics, built them all up, sold them all off. Dr. Kaplan and I get an opportunity to share this incredible content with incredible doctors at this amazing training known as the Chiro event. And I get to hang out with cool entrepreneurial chiropractors that are fortunate enough to get seats at the Chiro event. We have a gourmet meal. We are in basically a headspace of affluence and a headspace of what the future has in store, but it is based upon changing, enhancing, modifying, adding things to your practice come Monday morning. We love it. And one of the things that I love the most is I get a chance to hang out with you-know-who. I get a chance to hang out actually with the best lecturer that I know. His name is Dr. Eric Kaplan, and he really wrote the book on how to command the stage. He wrote the book on how to capture an audience. He wrote the curriculum for the National Spinal Decompression Certification Program, the National Peripheral Neuropathy Certificate Program. He wrote a 1,000-page manual on spinal decompression. Oh gosh, I can do mega 24-hour videos on him and not say the same thing twice. He's been in my life for 33 years, so when I get a chance to actually now enjoy and sit with you doctors in an audience and listen to him lecture about the ABCs of non-surgical spinal decompression and to be able to feel the passion, feel the love, feel the commitment that he's had to our profession in my lifetime for over 33 years as a chiropractor. He's been doing it for over 40 years. Nobody knows it better. And I just love, after all these years, having the ability to share time with him at the Chiro event. Yes, the clock is ticking, but it's ticking in a great way if, small word, right? IF, 2 letters, if you know what you're doing as a non-surgical spinal decompression doctor. And it all starts by getting an opportunity to try to grab a seat at the Chiro event. That's where I'm lecturing. If you want to hear what we have to share, what we have to give, what we have to show, and we give you example after example after example. We talk about so many things. And we talk about, you know what we talk about? We talk about, can you see this shirt? How's that? That all roads lead to disc. And there are so many patients right now that are potential disc patients in your marketplace that really need to see you. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but right now. I hope if we get an opportunity to meet that you let me know that if you benefited from some of our trainings, our lectures, our educational tools, our certification programs, our boot camps, just let me know how much you've enjoyed it. I've loved doing this from the stage, but everything has a shelf life, and now I get a chance to spend time with the people that are closest to me, my family, and our Disc Centers of America doctors who are the bomb, and I mean the bomb. They are the most heart-driven, most passionate, most giving, loving, serving doctors that I've ever had the opportunity to be around. And yes, at the end of the day, these are great business people that got the big idea that they represent something much bigger than just a DC. They are a DR. And as a DR, they get the opportunity to change lives every day. I am so thankful. I am so in an attitude of gratitude for all of you watching this, because now I finally get the chance, after all these years, to really, really give it all and leave it all on the field, as my partner does at every lecture, Dr. Eric Kaplan. It is such an incredible honor to be able to do with you doctors, and I want to thank you for all the years, all the commitment, all the love, everything you've given me, and I hope I've been able to give it back and more. But what I will tell you is this. If I'm you, do whatever you can to try to grab a seat at the Chiro event. I think you know the website, but if you don't, I'll give it to you here. It is www.thechiroevent.com. There is a training next weekend. I know timing is everything, but if you're able to grab a seat at www.thechiroevent, trust me, it'll change your life because it'll change your patients' lives. And that is the most powerful mission, and that is the most powerful calling that you, doctor, with myself and Dr. Kaplan, have ever been called to. The C in chiropractic is really the C in calling. And you were called. You were called to do more, to give more, to be more. And yes, if you do that, I got a strange feeling you're going to have more. Thank you so much for watching. I hope on behalf of Dr. Eric Kaplan and myself, we get the opportunity to see each other at the Chiro event, www.thechiroevent.com. All my love, and I hope to see you soon.